Hey, welcome back to the Begin Within Health Show. I am your host, Nate Slager. I'm glad you're here with me. You are going to enjoy this one. It's going to be a little bit freeing, I promise. We're digging into a common phrase that gets tossed around in the fitness industry, and it might get tossed around person to person, but I believe more often it gets directed toward ourselves. We say it to ourselves, and we're going to break it down today. Here's the phrase: you just need more willpower. Have you ever said that to someone? Have you ever heard it said to you, or have you ever said it to yourself? More than likely, if you're somebody who's interested in being healthy for the long haul, somebody who wants to improve their health and their fitness, I would be willing to bet you have said that to yourself, or you have heard it said in the circles that you are in. You just need more willpower. Maybe that sounds motivational, but honestly, I think that it's one of the most damaging things that people can bring into this journey of becoming healthier versions of ourselves. So, here it is for you. If you've ever skipped a workout, if you've ever made a late night food choice that you later regretted, or you hit the snooze button instead of going for your morning walk, you might have told yourself that I just need more willpower. This one is for you. And this is just me giving you my perspective after 15 plus years in the fitness world. Let me tell you, willpower is not the problem. In fact, believing that willpower is the problem in a lot of cases. It might be the real thing that is holding you back. So let's break it down. First of all, willpower. Willpower is not about all the time about who you are, the type of person that you are. I'm going to explain this a little bit more as we go, but it is much more a limited resource. And what I mean is this: we tend to treat willpower like it is a character trait. You either have it or you don't. You're a person who has a lot of willpower. You have a strong will to get yourself to do things, or you are not that kind of person. And well, we'll talk about what we call those other types of people so often, right? Or we call ourselves, because we see evidence that we are not a person of willpower. Okay. We're going to dive into that a little bit in a minute, but that's just not how willpower works, evidently. What the researchers are telling us, they tell us that willpower is a little bit more like a battery. And I'll link in the show notes for you on a concept called ego depletion. All right. And it's broken down really well in the reference that I have for you there. But basically, the studies that have been done show that willpower is a limited resource, like a battery that gets drained throughout the day. So think of it this way: it's almost like every decision that you make, every healthy decision you make, right? The temptations that you resist, the treats in the break room, or the snooze button in the morning, or the water instead of the soda. Every time you push through something that's difficult, that you don't feel inclined to do, it draws on that battery, the willpower battery. Okay, so by the end of the day, or as time goes on, you're faced with similar unhealthy temptations, options, and you're thinking, oh, what should I do? Right? Should I do it or should I not do it? It's not that you're weak, it's just that you're tired. It's just the battery is getting drained on that willpower. You're already worn down from lots of decisions that you made, maybe that were more toward the healthy direction. And then later you encounter more unhealthy options. There's less power, there's less juice in that battery to get you to do the thing that perhaps you really want to do, even though you don't feel inclined to do it in the moment. So what helps us, right? That's the question. What helps us then to deal with this? And researchers have found something even more surprising about people that seem to be individuals of willpower. They're like, wow, how's that battery getting charged up all the time? Are they just they're just amazing people, they're superheroes, their willpower battery just doesn't get drained as much by all these temptations. Maybe you already know where we're going with this. Researchers have found that people who appear to have great willpower don't actually use it as often as others. They don't need to draw on the battery as often. So the battery then doesn't get as drained. Does that make sense? So why are they not drawing on it as often as other people? It's because of this. It's because they've built systems and strategies that support them. They've built a life that supports maybe not the things they feel inclined toward, but they've built a life that supports the person that they want to be. Doesn't that make sense? So they plan meals ahead without making food choices when they're hungry. For example, they set out their workout clothes the night before. So in the morning, it's an easier thing to do. Uh, they don't bring food in the house that doesn't align with their goals. And this is something that I've talked about a lot over the years is, hey, the cookies, the cupcakes, they're going to find you. You don't have to go out and bring them in. You don't have to go find them and bring them home. Those little, you know, opportunities to have something sweet, it's going to find you. I promise it's going to find you. You don't have to bring it in the house. And another thing that, for example, people that we see as, oh, they got so much willpower, well, they schedule things into their calendar that support their health and fitness goals, right? For example, the workout, schedule it in the calendar like it's an appointment. It's going to happen because it's planned, it's important. And then when something else comes up, well, that block is filled. I've already got something in there. We have to put the new thing somewhere else in the calendar. Um, we do this a lot. We talk, hey, when's the meal prep happening? And that's not me. That's my wife. She does that. When's it gonna happen? Tonight we're doing the meal prep for the next few days. Oh, when we get home tonight after our walk, we're gonna go prep the meals for the next few days. It's something that we talk about. It's a thing that we've built into our vocabulary and into our lifestyle so that it happens. So, what are we learning? It is not about willpower. It's about building an environment that supports the person that you want to be. So, let's take it a step further. What are we learning? Environment is a factor that shapes who we are. The context we find ourselves in and the environment that we're in shapes our behavior, which then impacts the results that we get, the health, the fitness, whatever level of that we might be experiencing, right? In most cases. So, what do we need to do then? You know where I'm headed with this, right? What do we need to do? We need to build our environment in a way that supports who we want to become. Another thing that we're learning here is that this phrase, you just need willpower, is kind of bogus, right? It's big time bogus. And as I mentioned earlier, it's creating more harm than good. And believing that willpower is the problem is the problem. That's the problem. This idea that I can't do it because I don't have willpower is creating guilt and shame. And that's the part that bothers me the most. When we believe that success is all about willpower, and anytime we fall short, it's a moral failure. It's, I'm bad. I am not a person of willpower. I don't have a lot of willpower. I'm just lazy. I can't stick to anything. Something's wrong with me. And it's not true. It's not a character flaw if you skip a workout or if you eat a cookie. It's just part of being human, right? We need to embrace that. We need to understand that. And that is going to happen, especially if we don't have our environment or strategies or systems in place in our life to set us up for success, to support our goals. And so this idea of trying to shame ourselves, I'm so lazy, I can't, oh man, tomorrow I'm going to get up, I'm not going to be so lazy. It doesn't give us momentum. Shame does not bring momentum. Clarity, understanding how this all works, that gives us momentum. Being compassionate toward ourselves, understanding why we do what we do, and allowing for some humanness, that compassion can give us momentum. So if something's not working, it's not about just trying harder. It's not about just like willing it to happen. It's about trying differently. It's about continuing to try, but try differently, re strategize, reconfigure your environment. And I believe that the first thing we need to do is remove the guilt from the whole process so that we can actually have the resources mentally and emotionally to create a new solution. And I'm going to have another link in the show notes to prove this to you, that success comes from habits, not willpower. All right. So the researchers in the second link that I'll have as a reference in the show notes, they ran 6 studies over 2,000 people to test the idea that success comes from habits and not from willpower. The people that had positive outcomes in different areas, for example, in staying healthy or in school and reaching personal goals, the theory was that rather than using willpower, these individuals had built a life to support the outcomes that they got. And 6 studies over 2,000 people, guess what was found? The theory was correct. The theory was absolutely correct. So the people with strong willpower, again, what the studies show is they don't use it. They are good at not draining that resource because of the environment and the habits that they have in place in order to support the lifestyle that they want or the person that they want to become. Willpower does not give you success. Habits do, systems do, strategies do. The people with willpower, they can say no to distractions and temptations, but they can do that because they're not doing it all the time. Because those are just a once in a while thing. It's easy to say no when it doesn't come up very often because they've built routines and systems to make the choice to do the healthy thing the default in their life. So if you want better results in your health or really in any area of your life, it's less about trying harder. It's more about building small habits to support you. It's more about structuring your environment, your home, your lifestyle in a way that supports the outcome that you want. Habits are going to carry you forward. And then the times when you need some willpower because there's the temptation, it's going to be there. There's going to be plenty of charge in the willpower battery to support you in making the right decision. But you're also going to find this when life is set up for you to be as healthy as you possibly can. There's going to be those one-off situations, like I mentioned. Sometimes the sweets are going to find you. And if you decide that it serves you in that moment to partake, you're going to find this because the rest of life is set up to support your health. Having that doesn't create much, if any, negative results. How's this sitting for you? So instead of trying to push harder every day, here's what I want you to ask yourself. What habits do I want to build? What might be some of the systems that I can put in place that will make it easier? How can I reduce friction instead of trying to constantly power through it? That is how we make progress. Not through willpower, but through being intentional in the way that we design life. So, the phrase we started with, you just need more willpower. No, you don't. You need a better understanding of how your body, your brain, and your environment all work together. And that's what I wanted to bring you today. Support systems, strategy, self-compassion. Those are the things that are going to help you. If you've been struggling, it does not mean you're weak. It does not mean you don't have any willpower. It just means you're normal. And the good news is you can make progress without having to be a superhuman. You can create different changes in the way your environment is structured, in the way that your lifestyle supports you. You can do that. And then you can rely not on willpower, but on habits and on systems in order to support you. Doesn't that sound great? Make this easy on yourself. Quit trying so hard. That's what it's all about. That's why we're here on the Begin Within Health show. That's the way that we begin within in order to continue to improve health. I want to thank you for listening today. If this helped shift the way that you look at this whole process, I'd love for you to comment. I'd love, of course, for a positive rating and review on the show that helps other people to find it, or just share it with someone. Share it with someone who is part of your life, who's also working hard to improve health and get better results with fitness so that they can understand too. It's not about willpower. It's about setting life up in a way that supports you in getting the results that you want. Thanks again for listening. I'll talk with you again soon. And until then, keep taking good care of yourself.